were talking about was Sherlock Season 4. And we were listening to this YouTube video, and it brought up some really good points. But there's something I do want to talk about, which is Season 4 had a lot of problems. And the main problem with Season 4 was a promise of past demons coming back,
Yes.
having to deal and battle with things that you
From
may
your
have hidden
past.
in your past, and they're coming back to haunt Sherlock, and that did not happen
No.
in Series 4. What also we were promised was Moriarty would return, and Moriarty returned in like a 5-minute flashback, and it was just poorly done. The last episode seemed like some sort of rehash of a different scary movie. It seemed like it had nothing to do with Sherlock, and there's a slew of other problems. So what me and my sibling came up with was how to do Series 4 the right way, the way it was intended.
Yes. Which the first thing is to make Moriarty's return a theme of the last episode. So if Moriarty's sister had actually returned, in a way he could have returned to wreak havoc on Sherlock.
Exactly. And instead of there being a Eurus Holmes, the East Wind was a popular concept. I love the East Wind concept. And the fact that they revealed it as a person gave me chills. The fact that this concept, the East Wind, like a legend, like a myth, the folklore, was an actual person, a god of chaos, something like that. But they spoiled it 1 second later when they said that it happens to be Sherlock's sister. I always hated that in stories where, like, you're so smart, everyone in your family's smart, and the only opposition you could have is from your family. And I think that's bogus, and that's lazy writing. Instead, what I think could have happened was, instead of Eurus Holmes being related, that should have been Moriarty's sister. And
Partner in crime.
not only partner in crime, but I think she should have been Moriarty.
Yes. And that Moriarty was an actor, just like he said.
And they were brother and sister conspiring together against Sherlock Holmes, which makes more sense considering that scene that they had, where why would Sherlock's sister and Moriarty conspire to just mess with her brother
Together.
Right, and in the storyline, it's done. They say that it's done so that she can basically ask for forgiveness and tell Sherlock what she had done, which is murder his friend when he was young. I feel like that's a bogus and lazy way of writing. A better way to have written it would be. You want to say?
Go ahead.
So basically, in the storyline, Eurus locks up his friend in a tower, and that's how he dies, because she didn't have anyone to play with. I think the way the story should have actually been written was that Moriarty and his sister Eurus, who was actually Moriarty, grew up with Sherlock near that ancestral home. But they were the poor people. They happened to be friends, but they got separated by society's ties. And they used to be good friends, but then bad things happened. They were ripped apart. And what also happened was, instead of Sherlock's sister putting his friend down the well, he was the one who put them down the well, and basically was trying to reinforce the social class system, and saying
Fueled by his brother.
Fueled by his brother, who was also a bit classist at the time, taking up what they learned from the adults and the people around them.
Mm-hmm.
And what this put a hatred in his sister and his brother, and Moriarty and his sister, to where they see themselves as they're in the pit and someone else is in the tower. And why does it have to be that way, that someone has to be beneath you and someone else below and someone else above? Why can't it be that we choose our own destiny? Why do we have to follow other people's rules if their rules put us in the pit, put us in the well, put us beneath them? So they decide to conspire together to supplant what society wants. So what they do is, instead of using their intelligence and their skills for things that are considered to be good and right by society, they use it for their own means, to become the people they want to be, regardless of what society thinks is right for them. Anything you want to add on that?
I think the show tried to play around with a childhood flashback. And in the series, Sherlock's brother basically makes fun of him for being human even a little bit. And I think that they could have played Sherlock siding with his brother against his friends in that classist way, toward how Sherlock began to shut down emotionally and not really deal with that side of himself that knew it was wrong, right? So I think this particular series did itself a disservice when they just made up another character because we had no reason to know who Eros was. There was not a lot of insinuations about there being another sibling. It was a little bit, not enough. And Moriarty was focused on so much that we were expecting some type of Moriarty theme ending.
Right, and it was almost a red herring. And so if you were able to bring it in as Eurus is Moriarty's fraternal twin sister, and what my sibling was talking about earlier was basically that she is Moriarty. Because here's the fact. Power is limiting. Being in the spotlight is like being in a prison. You are under watch by many people. The truly powerful don't need to do that. And someone who's as intelligent or as dangerous as Eurus would know that. So the real thing is this. Why would you say you're Moriarty and show yourself to the world like Moriarty did when he was stealing the crown jewels and doing those other things? He was masquerading. He was showing off. That's not the mark of a powerful person.
He was acting.
He was acting. And what if his sister was really Moriarty, behind the scenes, the person behind the throne, the person with the real power, the real authority? That's the genius person. And what I'm saying is, and how they could have played this out was talk about people who we know in history who are renowned for their contributions to society, like Mozart or Beethoven. But they should talk about, what about their sister? What about the person you don't know who's behind the scenes, who actually did the work? What if there are things you never heard of, things you never were exposed to, because that's how it was set out? It was the illusion of the thing. And that's what the Sherlock Series 3 played with, the illusion of the thing. Moriarty had died, but yet he hadn't died. It was an illusion. It was mystery, shrouded in mystery. Eurus, the East Wind, the concept was also shrouded in mystery. And the mystery should have been that it was an illusion, that Moriarty hadn't died, because he was never Moriarty. And now she has a reason to come after
What?
Now she has a reason to come after Sherlock because her brother is dead. Okay? And it tries to reinforce the same system because it would give more meaning to the Reichenbach Fall episode when Sherlock is placed on a ledge, but he is caught by the same social graces in his family because his family had connections to set up everything, to set up a fake death. And he is basically caught by the same social net that they hate. While Moriarty has to sacrifice his real life like a martyr for his beliefs, Sherlock can really play with the concept of death and his connections from his brother and his family to simulate it. And so basically what they're saying is what they've done is real and what you've done is not. And so what it becomes a battle of is, what is wit? What is wit? What is skill?
What is intelligence?
What is intelligence? And is intelligence just using your means?
And playing within the rules that society gives you?
Right. Because that would make anyone smart with money and with good grooming. Or is it someone who, regardless of where they came from, uses their skills to become whoever they want to be? And then, that would be a much better story, I think. Is there anything you want to add?
That's it.
All right, that's it. That's how we would write Series 4.